Good afternoon, everyone. It's September 7th, 2009. We've got some northwest swell in the water today, and that's really what's on the horizon, too. Not a lot's going to be coming out of the southern hemisphere anytime soon by the looks of things right now. But we are starting to see a lot of northwest activity, some stuff that's starting to stir up over in the western Pacific. Wanted to show you how that's all coming together and what that could mean for surf somewhere around the 13th. Also got a little something suspicious going on. It's Tropical Depression 15E, but not a whole lot of ray of hope out of that right now. Wanted to show you, though, everything that's going on, what's happening right now. Starting out looking at the northern hemisphere WAMs, we can see a lot of little activity going on. A little bit of northwest swell, that's up there around the Oregon border, down around northern California. That's making some fairly good-sized surf today, down around northern and central California. Some that's making it into southern California, not quite as bit though. Little blip out there, that's TD15E. Wanted to show you some suspicious stuff with that going on. The most impressive thing, though, is that Westpac system. So as we spin the models forward in time, we can see a variety of different things going on. If we take a look at what's supposed to be happening tomorrow, we can see that TD15E, according to this, would be fizzling, northwest would move south, Westpac, though, would be building. And notice how the West Pacific storm, that Westpac storm, starts moving. It gets to about 2,500 miles from us underneath the Aleutians with about 30-foot seas, continues to move our way. This is 48 hours out, still holding some size. TD15E, who knows what's going to happen with that. But that Westpac system would probably then end up in the Gulf, but that would still fall within a window when it passed underneath the Aleutians, 2,500 miles from our area, to still throw us some surf, probably arriving around the 13th. TD15E, though, even though it looked like a blip on those models, is a little bit suspicious. This is what the National Hurricane Center is saying it will do. That'd be moving on a northward trajectory, so that would be moving toward our area. If we take a look at a different model, this is from the NCEP polar WAMs, we can see that TD15E would be forming, spinning these models forward in time. We can see a different scenario than what we just saw on the FN mock models. So here it's TD15E starting to grow a little bit, gaining a little bit more strength, and then all of a sudden it starts moving more toward the north, just like the hurricane models say that it will. So this would be throwing swell a little bit more toward the north, a little bit better size than what the FN mock model said would happen, and that may throw us some swell then. That'd be a few days away from this model, looking at about the projection of the 7th, so this would be about the 11th, maybe the 13th. We might see something by then. A little too early to call, though, and of course it's not supposed to get to be that big of a system. We'll have to see how that develops over the next couple days. Taking a quick look down at the southern hemisphere, not a whole lot going on. That's why right now all our eyes are on the northern hemisphere. We've got a system down off Antarctica. A lot of activity in that area. It's just too far to the south, being driven down toward the south even more by a poorly positioned jet stream. We can see this moving the models forward in time, just staying too far to the south, not really bringing us anything. A little bit of activity breaking off Antarctica here and there, but that's about 6,000 miles away, and we've really got to get stuff with over 35-foot seas to make it surf-worthy for Southern California, and that just doesn't look to be happening anytime soon. So all that leaves us once again is looking back at the Western Pacific storm that would be coming our way possibly around the 13th. Just to recap on this, in about 36 hours, according to this model, that storm would be about 2,500 miles from Southern California, have about 30-foot seas, and keep progressing toward the Gulf of Alaska before it turns north. That should enter our swell window then shortly here in the next couple of days. That would be throwing us possibly some chest-high surf in Southern California around the 13th. It would be, of course, bigger up and around Central California and Northern California as well. But even though it is just a 36-hour simulation, still got to see what happens with this storm. A little bit too early to tell. Got to watch it also enter into the Gulf. So I'll have more details on that over the next couple of days. Right now, though, it does look like we'd be seeing some northwest swell, probably from about 295 degrees or so, coming in about chest high on the 13th. That could be building on the afternoon of the 12th. Not an epic northwest swell for Southern California by the looks of things right now, but the models are consistent that we would be seeing something around that time frame. Everything else is real iffy. TD15E, I wouldn't get my hopes up on that right now. Models are not in agreement at all on what's going to happen with that system, and there's really nothing out of the southern hemisphere to get all that excited about either. But I'll be keeping an eye on it. I'll be keeping you posted. You can always check out my latest SoCal Surf Report at wetsand.com, and of course, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, you can check out my automated site, wavecast.com. And if you want to stay abreast on all the swells breaking in Southern California, you can get reports twice a day on my Twitter account at twitter.com/wavecast. So until next time, take care, be safe, and smile in the lineup.